And of course, the Shea Berry, Miss Tierra Berry. What's happening,
She's
everybody?
your queen to be. Sorry.
Where you go?
Yes, she's a queen.
Man,
The sun is shining, nice and bright, bright. The birds are chirping, chirping, and I'm ready to fly. Time to get ready, ready for another day. No one can stop us. Oh, we gon' learn to play. Oh, every day we learn and play. We do our best, so we'll be great. Oh, 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 oh. You do your best, best, and I do mine, mine. So let's get ready, ready, ready. 'Cause it's about that time. Good morning, morning, you. Good morning, how do you do? Good morning, time to be great. Good morning, time to wake. Good morning, join us and play. Good morning, sun start today. Good morning, open your eyes. Good morning, reach for the sky. Good morning, 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 morning to you. Good morning, 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 how do you do? Good morning, 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 morning to you. Good morning, 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 how do you do? Good morning. You see me on my grind. Woo, stars got to shine. I'm a supernova. Yeah, you see me taking over. Yeah, I'm on the move. I got a way to shine to it. So let me hear you say, every day we gon' learn and play.
hey, it's your day. It's roll it out morning, 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 morning to you all. This is the wake up call. It is Portia Monique, Romeo Next Level, you see, and Miss Berry. Good morning, everybody. How are you today?
Good morning.
Man, it's Thursday. It's a beautiful day outside. The weather is right. Birds are chirping, and social media is blowing up because everybody want a piece. Everybody want a piece of Ice Cube right now. So,
Oh Lord, Ice Cube. What did he do? What did he say? Like,
Okay,
I'm
if you
not
want
mad
to
at Ice Cube.
hold
we
on.
know what he said. I mean, we know what he did. He spoke out about it, but like, why would he speak to the Trump party? Like, I don't
It's in
get
my report.
why would he do
listen,
that? After
I can,
denouncing in 2016 that he would never support Trump. I understand that you got to give people a chance and talk to them and state their case, but like some of the people on Twitter were saying, once you give them a platform, they're definitely going to use it against you. So if you were sitting up there talking about, whatever change you wanted to make, they're going to use that to their advantage and say, "Yeah, we talked to Ice Cube. He's on board. He's on the bandwagon." So he just gave him a chance to flip it.
I think that
AI.
the actual platinum plan, from what it sounds like, it's definitely really really interesting. How
Ashley, put it down.
huh?
Sierra, I cannot wait to hear your report. It sounds interesting. Three years later, okay.
No, but
I cannot.
the reason why I find it interesting is because I feel like a lot of times, and throughout every president, we pressured Obama to have a plan specifically for Black people, and I don't know if that has ever really came into fruition. And that's not necessarily because Obama could do that. There was a lot of gatekeepers in the White House when Obama was president. So I'm not blaming Obama for what he did or didn't do for Black people specifically. I'm also looking for, what is Biden and Harris going to do for Black people? What is their current
After
agenda
they
for
get
Black
into
people?
the administration, like let's ask that question after they get into the administration, because
It's a I'm gonna fool myself. Like, this is the puzzle yourself question.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so intentional for a very unfortunate, disturbing conversation. There's no discussion about what they're gonna do for you after they're already on the ticket. The ticket happens, and
Right.
boom, on the 4th, it's a new day. We can make a ton more demands when we win. You can't have invisible demands when you're sitting there having a conversation, polarizing your community with a debate that makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's polarizing. Let's make more demands. Why don't we demand of ourselves right now? Why don't we look in the mirror and demand for ourselves and have?
And I think that is equally important.
Any more trash on my street.
Right. Because whoever gets in the White House
knows all his 300 words by the time he is 2, or she is 3.
Right. Because whoever gets in the White House, there's this white savior complex, I think, that the Republican Party throws out there, the Democratic Party throws out there. It to me, I'm not looking for the president to really be the person that's going to change my life. It's going to be me and my community.
It's critical. You saw if our president would have put on a mask, the whole country we'd probably be able to walk around and see each other by now. I mean, it is important. It is no problem. But we don't want to confuse our community. Like, I'm tired of the confuse the community.
Me too.
We need to really have a real agenda about, okay, do we need to be celebrating designer wear in 2021 and put it in every rap song and really be interested in designers that are not supporting HBCUs? I mean, we really need to have our own KPIs, our key performance indicators for the Black community. And thank you. Agenda. When we sit back and say, oh, we don't know, we need to make demands now, and the train is getting ready to come to the station and you're going to miss it if you don't get on board, and we haven't had any Black federal judges really appointed to the bench, 2 out of 50, come on. Like slow down the conversation. It makes no sense.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
And thank you, Iris Baker, for your comment, because I was thinking the same thing. She said, like other presidents, we need to wait till they actually get in office. Like, the man ain't even in office yet. Y'all up here, like, can Biden get there first? Can he get in?
I mean, I think the reason why a lot of people are critical of what Biden is going to do once he gets in office is because of a lot of the legislations and crime bills like that of the past. Biden has been in politics for years. And we have to be critical of what he's done.
We don't have to be critical of nothing. At the end of the day, we have to get him into office. That's what we have.
The other thing is, it's a deceptive practice. If what you do in your discussion during the debate retards the very aspect of people going to the polls, retards the person's effort to really make a decision, say, well, I saw the video on what he did in 1983. And so now, since he did it in 83, I'm not sure. I think I'm going to sit this one out. I mean, you're really working against our community. Like, you didn't go vote for the person that was running for office, that one person that needed to vote to be judge, that one person that needed to vote in order to be a district attorney. You can't say Breonna Taylor and still be debating in the ignorance of what was yesterday. He's on the ticket. There's not another choice that is really talking about going and getting associate degrees for our children for free, figuring it out. At the end of the day, we've had 4 years. So anything that keeps our community from being able to move forward progressively and be active voters, not just voters, because we're not asking people. We want people to be active voters. That means the next vote that comes up in your area, you're active. The next time that the city council runs, you're active. Next time that Congress runs, and they run every 2 years, not every 4 years, they run every 2 years, active. So we want an active community so that we can begin. We want young lobbyists like yourself, people who are really out there going up to HUD and telling your congressperson how you can become a developer. You're not just a real estate agent. We look at you and we see a developer when we see you. We don't see you as a real estate agent. You know, at the end of the day, that's
And what I love about this moment right now is that so many young people like myself are very, very into politics, and we're very critical of what people are doing. So, but in no means, good morning, everybody. In no means am I trying to say that do not get out there and vote. It is very important to get out there and vote. The Biden-Harris ticket is the best ticket for you to pick. However,
say that again, so that
the Biden-Harris ticket is the best ticket to pick at this moment. But I do firmly believe that we can be critical of who's in office, and we can continue to make demands once they get into office.
You can't say both things and not know that you could be hurting the agenda.
Right.
Do you think that's hurting the agenda, though, by saying that we can be critical of who's coming into office?
Where you're an influencer. So the person says, well, I'm just not going to do that. I was so disappointed.
No, still vote.
I saw on somebody's social, they literally had a Republican video that had been produced on all the negative. It appeared Democratic, but clearly it wasn't. And it showed all the negatives of like the last 30 years of Biden. And then the social person said, influencer, over 200,000 followers, says, this is who you want me to vote for? Now, I'm like, but you got a mask on and could literally, you've watched friends, celebrities, people's grandparents die because our leadership didn't say wear a mask and make it mandatory for a whole country.
Right.
I mean, so you didn't even unify, and you're literally talking about a guy that started off with wearing the mask. And we're going to talk, if we did that, then we'd have to think about if you worried about him, worry about the people that do payday loans. Like, worry about those people that are really against our community. Worry about the fact that home ownership in the Black community is down 75% since the last recession. So let's think about it. We haven't caught up on so many other issues, and yet you're going to put a negative voice and a negative picture, and we're going to debate those things. Let's debate Black on Black crime. Let's debate all the things. Let's debate self-hate. Let's debate the continued use of the N-word. Let's debate all the things. Let's debate domestic violence. Let's debate all the things. Let's debate, all the things that we can improve about ourselves right now.
Right.
Let's do that debate. Because that brings us closer to what will win for our community. Sometimes we focus way too much. There has to be a segregated mentality for us. That's just a collective, positive Black agenda. When we sit back and somebody talk about somebody, then we got to go 400 years. Deal with the people 400 years.
One thing that was said, I think when AR was on, and I think it was me, AR, Portia, King James. The one thing about the Republican Party, right? They'll say this is what it is, and they'll all get in line. Period. This is what it is. They all get in line. They don't give no separation, no question mark. This is what we following. Everybody jump in this line this way. I'm not saying TR, not you, but I'm saying to Munson's point, what people are doing is, hey, this is the agenda and what we're gonna do. But I don't know, because in 1930,
gotta be critical, and he passed those laws, right? No,
but people. So the man he was then is not a different man now. People are still talking about Barack Obama. This man ain't even like Barack Obama been home chilling, but people still use him as a focal point. Come on now, like either you own the train or you're off. Like,
here's the thing, Tiara, you can't cast doubt right now. Like, this is a very critical, important, pivotal moment in our history. Like, we have no room for doubt, for casting doubt, for error. We have no room for any of that. So the only agenda that we need to be pushing right now as a Black community is vote Biden Harris. Whatever each of the candidates done, Biden and or Harris, in their terms of office and whatever it was that they did in the past, we can't even focus on that right now. We have to make sure that the agenda is to get them in office. And there will be no conversation if they're not in office. There will be no conversation about how critical we need to be of Biden if he's not in office.
Right. And I totally believe we need to get out there and vote. I just think that and maybe it's just my own personal opinion, but I'm not necessarily attached to a party. And I think a lot of people right now are not attached to a party. We believe in the things that we want out of a presidency. And I'm hoping and I'm willing to put a vote in for the things that I want and see what happens, because I know that what's happening currently cannot continue to happen. But I think going forward, I love the fact that I am not just whoever's the Democratic is whatever, because I think that sometimes we fail to think for ourselves and what we want, because we get behind a party that's never really been for us, because these politicians do have their own agenda too.
But how about this, too? We literally have not seen advancements in Silicon Valley. We really haven't seen the amount of employees go from 5% to 30% at Facebook, Instagram, the places that we all are on that platform every day.
True.
We have enough economic issues that we have companies that don't have blacks on their board, less than 3 out of the 500 Fortune 500 companies. If you want to debate an agenda, and I truly need young people to be engaged, then focus on the money. Do not focus on rhetoric. Do not participate in conversation, because you're a leader. You're a leader for the next 50 years. So we need you to focus on the money. Do not get out your street. And the reason you guys uprising is not just the 8.46 seconds. It's the 8.46 billion that these companies are making off all these technology apps, and we are not employed. I mean, just think about it. If we're not on the money, then we're sitting here talking and having these conversations. If I hear non-economic numbers with no numbers, I'm disappointed.
And let me throw this in. So I'm really big on the pump fake, and I know we're not really talking about this person no more, but I want to give you a prime example with the Kanye West thing, right? You have a man who people are writing his name on a ballot, and and there's no purpose. Like there's no way for him.
What's
like there's no
what
way.
are we critical of him? Like, what are we telling everybody, our culture, Black America people, to be critical of Kanye for?
Right, which is why I would never vote for Kanye.
Right.
But I definitely understand.
But we need to cast that same doubt on Kanye as we're casting on the viable candidate, Joe Biden. So you know what I'm saying? Like you got to spread it across the board. Then you have to look at the accomplishments and or the non-accomplishments of the current administration and be like, yeah, let's talk about what they did. Let's talk about how they lied. Let's talk about those 20,000 lies that he's talked about or he's spewed for the last 4 years that he's been in office. Let's talk about how he's so confused. Let's talk about how he's so erratic. Let's talk about how he doesn't know how to lead. Like, that needs to be the conversation. Lead with that. Joe Biden don't need to be in office.
I think
no, I never said Biden doesn't need to be in office.
But by saying we need to be critical of him, you're casting doubt and you're putting doubt in the minds of other people.
Well, that's definitely that's not my intention.
Okay.
Right.
That's what you're doing.
Even when Kanye, I think he posted his number, when Kanye got over 400,000 votes in Kentucky, in my head, I'm like, who and what are y'all voting for? He's not on the ticket. So you telling me
what's his agenda? What's his plan for the next 4, 5, 10 years?
I mean, Kanye doesn't have one. He doesn't have a plan for Black people. Obviously.
Honestly, you guys, this is a very controversial subject. Oof.
So there's 400 votes. Those are 400,000 votes that are gone. That's the point that Portia was making. Those are 400,000 votes that are gone because he decided to set a pump fake for people, and now they're like, well, you know what? I'm just gonna write his name in. That's dumb. That's the dumbest thing I ever seen.
No, it's voter suppression. Yeah. So when you it is purely voter suppression. You know, you literally are being used to suppress our votes. You don't have a chance to win, but you can siphon off and erode our progress.
You don't have a chance.
Erode our progress, thinking of our community, the more you are participating in a real tragedy. The miseducation of our community happens each and every day when we use language that is not housed in love and intelligence, and it's really happening a lot. You know, people with no idea just say and repeat anything that they've heard on social media. Problem. They share videos that are ignorant, but problem, because they can do it. And then you go tell young people that you should vote for whomever and not understand that there are consequences. And we are all, just think of all the people that didn't get PPP, but rich people.
Right.
I mean, like,
and then the Black ones that did get some PPP and they may have misused it and or abused it, they went to jail.
I know somebody on the run right now.
so guess you better start off breathing every day.
I literally just had to take a deep breath. This is very controversial, guys. I have a lot of thoughts.
It is the moment. Everybody is
Just
universally,
relax.
but you know, I got some workout in early this morning, so
All right.
I'm feeling good, good, good. Organic, 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 flow, organic.
All right. He just made that up.
Spiritual growth.
Carrie,
Just keep going. Just make it a freestyle. Just keep going.
Organic, organic.
I
Time
know we were gonna have a theme song.
Oh, y'all like that?
time for you to grow.
Carrie,
Organic.
Organic.
I love
Carrie, see,
this.
Carrie, your breathing techniques,
Okay.
your breathing techniques have really been helping me on my core workouts, and I've really been using what you taught me on my core workout. So they are excellent.
That's wonderful.
Especially my I forget what you call it, but when you say focus, the breath at the tip and the center of here, I forget what it's called. But
yeah, a couple books for us, but I'm waiting for her book. You know, organic.
Thank you.
Organic flow.
You must be feeling my energy. This is how I feel after yoga today. But then I got on rolling out and I was like, oh my gosh, voting. And then my shoulders went up to my ear. Like, it's stressful, you know, and I think this is why people need to do some form of mindfulness right now and a lot of self-care, resting, eating well, things that energize our system, doing breathing exercises and just any exercise like Romeo, just creating these endorphins and happy hormones within our body so we can keep these shoulders down and try to speak about this stuff without feeling stressed out. I immediately was like, oh, I used to love Kanye so much. This is too much. Is this a joke? Like, this all feels so surreal sometimes.
Well, I think it really causes pause on what we celebrate. I mean, I think it causes pause. I mean, we've gone through the same thing with R. Kelly. I mean, literally, we went through the same thing with R. Kelly. And this is an R. Kelly move. I mean, he is doing the same thing, you know.
Right.
It is a culture rape. We gotta say when you can rape culture. This is a culture rape.
Are you saying that about Kanye West?
It's a culture rape.
So you think what Kanye's doing is equivalent to what R. Kelly did?
To the culture.
To the culture.
I don't know if I can say that.
I know, and it's hard.
As a Black woman, I don't know if I can equivalent.
Yeah,
no, right.
What you will do will hurt people for generations, and they don't know. Yeah. We have a lot of people that follow people and believe in people, and when you let people down publicly and abuse their trust,
it's still such a difference. But I understand your point. But it's such a difference when we talk about violence against women and minors. It's a big difference.
I'm with you, organic, on that one.
You guys need to. Well, I think you guys can look at it in terms of culture and not necessarily so literal in terms of.
It's just like if you said it was
what R. Kelly did to women.
Cultural offense, then you would take it. I'd use the word rape for amplification of how it is, because you're taking advantage of people who do have very neophyte young minds. They're just getting started on their life journey, Carrie, and you know better.
If you
trigger warning for those out there, sending love to like a trigger right now.
Yes. I'm telling you, I am having a physiological response to it. My heart is beating quickly.
I feel you, girl. I feel you. Response. I think we all had a physiological response to R. Kelly. 20 years.
Yes.
We went for 20 years justifying.
Yeah.
We went for a long time, and people still
regrettably.
And then when his music comes on, we still have to hesitate.
Right. And I'll give you one more. Are we okay with gin and juice and my homie can't have any? Are we really? Is that a song that we really should say should still exist in the universe for our community? Or maybe we've grown past that.
I think they were talking about.
I have to share a podcast with you guys about that. I got to share a podcast with you, but they talk about how the rise of hip hop and in the prison population of Blacks went up simultaneously. And it's a very interesting podcast, but it goes to talk about that, like how these demeaning lyrics became a self-fulfilling prophecy for our community. So I completely agree with that sentiment, which is why.
And that's all your brother's saying, not him. And,
not literally, right?
Right, literally, but using it as a word.
We understand, but still, that's a trigger.
Yeah, it's just a little triggering.
And we want to trigger because we are not necessarily getting an agenda. If we come out of this and not have our own agenda, then we're literally losing. We have to have our own agenda. We can't come out of this without our agenda. Even a wellness agenda, Carrie. Even a wellness. Organic.
We gotta have an agenda. I can't wait to share this podcast with you. I'm trying to stay present, but
it's time for you to grow.
We have to think about what we listen to, what we put into our system.
What we intake, yeah.
Well, it goes if as a DJ, it goes back to the so for example, it goes back to the culture of music. I understand what my sister is saying about the split. Because during that split, you had people defending him, and then you had people saying he should do this. Now you got people questioning, well, it wasn't that bad. Well, maybe it was. Kanye West is typically doing the same thing. Kanye West is people in half. He split people in half to the point where, oh, I love his music, but you know, his politics, no. Or, well, he's did it only 15 times. Like, I want you to, if you take the R. Kelly role as far as he's done this so many times and it's been accepted. You take the Kanye role, he's done this so many times, but nobody want to check him. That's an even better.
I think they're relatable in terms of what they say makes a lot of impact on our culture and they hold a lot of influence. But I do think that there still remains a difference between what Kanye is doing in the realm of politics versus what R. Kelly has done to individual Black women.
Y'all are looking at the act.
Don't take it so literal, right?
Like y'all are looking at the actual act and not what they did.
We shouldn't even be giving this man that much airtime. Really, either one of these men. Totally honestly, they don't deserve it.
Okay, my sister, come through. I'm talking about.
I'm just saying they don't deserve it.
Right.
You know who deserves it? These people who we need to win, you know, Biden and Harris. And I feel like I do think we need to think critically, but I think the best thing we could do right now is get these folks in office. We've seen what happened the last 4 years, but I do think that we need to think critically in all terms, in all aspects of life, especially pieces that affect Black life, which is everything. We need to think about our health, education, all of the systems, the prison system, just every single system, and really holding these parties accountable to helping us impact those systems, because neither one of them have been doing the best job, honestly.
Once they get in office, though, right?
I love it that you're saying that. I want us to hold ourselves accountable. I don't want us
We have to. It starts with us.
I don't even want us to imagine that they're our caretakers. They're here to serve us. I want active voters. But
active voters that vote for Biden and Harris.
Well,
and more young Black people mobilizing to get in office themselves in different ways. Once we realize that we got voting power, we can start voting ourselves in office. Period. You know, we got so much power.
Throw something out here. Well, maybe it's not a good time, but you know, a lot of young people that I've been speaking with have been thinking, like, if I did get in politics, which party would I even join? Like, beyond this election, you know? And that's another one. I'm like, depressed, because there's a lot of different conflicting thoughts about this and feelings. But, you know, what do we do if we don't feel represented beyond this election?
Right.
Well, I don't know that it's just the representation of the election. This is what it is. But literally, we want you to be active in your community. We want you to continue to lead. We want the agenda. And that's why I'm saying, when you're not talking about who's not hiring, when you're accepting the fact that 3 instead of 500 of the Fortune 500 CEOs are not Black, that's a problem. When many of these companies don't even have diversity on their boards, that's a problem. We're buying product from companies who still are justifying Uncle Ben. Like, literally, are you really saying that? Aunt Your Mama was okay? I mean, we have a lot to really address. And it's all of what are we getting for it? How do we take our community and not be abused for our consumption of your products, and yet you don't support our colleges? So I think there's a real context for us to have a real agenda that's ours. We'll participate, but let's have our own agenda, Carrie.
And I think a piece of that is not disparaging each other, but like coming together. So instead of throwing Kanye completely out the window, you know, he said something similar in that we have to be on the board. We can't settle for crumbs, you know. So I think take the good and the bad with people, but don't just throw each other out and disparage each other, but really come together and work to build and educate each other.
Well, I think that, but I guess that for me, and this is just a follow the money scenario, when you know that you have a lot of power and you are literally trying to tell a generation in a pandemic to buy some tennis shoes, I have a problem with that. And I don't care whose tennis shoe it was.
Yeah.
There's a problem. I have a problem when you're not sharing with those young people in Detroit Public School and going, just like you made the rounds for your song, telling every young brother, I want you to be an engineer.
How to get ahead.
I want you to really get this skill set and stop just knowing my rhymes. I want you to know this algorithm. I want you to know how to program algorithms for me. I think when you finally say that, then I'm checking for you. But when I don't see and everything is self-serving, I don't want to celebrate everything that is self-serving. If you're not really empowering my community, if I can't see how many Black people work for you, I think it's time out on that for a collective consciousness of healing. Because we know that there are things that we need to heal on, the trauma that we deal with, and the economic attack that literally happens to Black people, and the fact that we are not. 6%, that's it, of the GDP is entertainment and movies. We celebrate all of those things.
It's because of what you guys mentioned earlier, what our focus is on, the materialism. You know, we got to stop being worried about, you know, what's on the outside and focus what's on the inside. As you said, it starts with us.
And I'm just saying, as the economic agenda, you know, at some point, are we going to own it? Are we going to own a tennis shoe company? Or are we going to just keep buying? Are we going to own a company and understand that we have $1 trillion in the market and it can all be ours? I mean, I just think that it causes pause for us collectively to have an agenda.
And I just want to touch on the whole Kanye piece. No, let's not throw his music out the window, but let's throw his political campaign out the window, because he's literally taking votes away from Biden and Harris. Literally. Like, if he got on the bandwagon and said, hey, vote for Biden and Harris, that would be potentially 400,000 votes for Biden and Harris.
And I hate to your point earlier, Carrie, about similar to what you said about the prison system. I really hate to simplify people, but when I think about millennials, Generation Z, I have to make it really ABC for them. And ABC for them is you have to make it cool. I think, to your point about the prison system, I think during that time, selling drugs and going to prison was cool in music. It was cool. It was you was the man. You know what I'm saying? If I think about it, every old school video damn near had a prison scene in it of the dude. You know what I'm saying? So it was the thing. Then you get into the culture of selling drugs is cool. Then it was the culture of using the drugs is cool. Now it's the culture of female exploitation. It's cool. The only way you're gonna switch millennials and Generation Z is somebody has to make voting technology like somebody has to make it a cool thing to do. Like Beyonce got to come out and do a TikTok about voting. I guarantee you the whole fucking world will come out and do a TikTok. Think about it.
I think young people think being into politics is really cool, because judging from my timeline on Twitter and Instagram and all of that, we talk about politics all day long right now. Like, I don't know if Carrie can agree to this, but it's like, I think that we're very involved in politics.
I do think a lot of young people are talking about it more, which is wonderful. But thank you for bringing that back up about the prison and the hip hop, because the name of that podcast I was thinking of was Louder Than a Riot. So I encourage you guys to check that out. But it's excellent, and it draws those parallels, because it's like what we listen to all day and feed our spirit. Again, it gets into our minds, and our what we think about all day can dictate our actions. So it's really important that we're thinking about different things, that we're feeding our spirit with information. So it makes me happy to see younger people, older people, everybody right now talking about politics. But, you know, like everybody is encouraging, we got to actually take these words to action and go to the poll and
there you go.
And get this guy out of there. Like,
and vote Biden Harris. Like,
that's my point, TR. That's Carrie just hit my whole point. You see a lot of people doing it, but it's not an action. It's like, y'all should go vote. Okay, my tweet went out. I'm good, but there's no action behind it. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, so many barriers too, as you guys mentioned earlier. The voter suppression is real. That's why we have to come
people are at the polls and they be waiting for hours, even right now with the early voting. And I've heard stories.
Well, we've seen video. I don't know if producer Ashley can pull it up, but there was video of like super long lines, miles long, for early voting, and it's simply a measure of voter suppression. Like, people stand outside in lines miles long to vote early, and they got them standing outside.
You know, I'm sorry, go ahead, Romeo.
Iris Baker says it starts at home. What are you teaching your children?
And then watch what everybody else is teaching your children too, because when you send them to these public schools, you don't know what these public teachers are teaching them. And I found that out the hard way.
Yeah. That's why I'm so grateful for my HBCU education. So important.
Yeah.
You know, I like that he was saying earlier that we need to think about each other more, because even going to the polls, knowing that this voter suppression exists, it's like, how can we serve each other even? Like with COVID, can we just drop some apples off there so people hungry waiting in line can have some nourishment? Or like, what can we do to make this situation easier? Or can we just go to the polls with a better attitude? You know, it's like, it does start with us, every single thing, even voting. You know, it's like, how can we check ourselves to support more of us going to the polls? How can we be more helpful? Can we give someone a ride? You know, sometimes people aren't getting there because they don't even have a ride to get there.
But there have been some good digital trainings, Carrie, that the Democratic Party has done for anybody.
Can you share them? Somebody have a link?
Okay, we'll get you a link.
I would love to share with the young people we work with.
And how to do call banking during COVID, how to do it for them, how to support. It is there. It exists. They just hosted the training. So that's definitely how to call and do phone banking during COVID from home. So you can do that.
Good. Well, I hope you guys all do some yoga at home and do some yoga with us, some virtual yoga classes.
We did yoga this morning. I did yoga this morning. I did push-ups this morning. I did downward dog this morning. All part of my peace and purpose.
That's lit.
Every day, Carrie is in my.
Here's my downward dog.
Carrie, where is it? Carrie, where is it? I'm saying Carrie. I got Carrie in my calendar at 6 a.m. every day. As soon as I finish my run, you right there. So I'm with you.
Guess what? At 7:15, you can just join a class. But you're on rolling out at that time, I guess. But at night we have classes at.
Not at 7:15.
Join it. Oh, not at 7:15.
I'll join. I'm
do it. It's on Zoom.
I'll be there too.
You guys can all register at yoganicflow.com. Check out our class schedules page, and it's super easy. It's donation based, so there's really no barrier to participate. You can use a blanket, you can use a mat, you can use whatever you have to participate. Grab a block, all the things you might need to support your practice.
Celia Phelan from Facebook says she's actually getting trained tonight for voter protection. So that is
there we go. Have her share a link too, if you would. Share a link so others can learn. We all want our entire community to participate. You gotta have poll watchers. Gotta have poll watchers.
Poll watchers. Me and Portia's statement. Stop letting people walk up on y'all. That's
period.
But don't hit them first, y'all. Don't hit them first. Allow them to
finish. The finish don't start.
Right. Allow them to attempt, like back up and then strike, but don't hit them first.
Right.
For assault and battery. the felony 20 years.
I have a question for you, Carrie. How have you been practicing mindfulness and wellness even more during the pandemic? I know you've always been active with wellness, but how has that intensified since this time?
Oh man, I've had to meditate a lot more. So for a while, have you all heard of Vipassana?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
said it yesterday.
Oh, nice. So
that was a joke. No, why don't you tell us what it is?
Please share.
You never know, guys. He does all sorts of things. You never know.
True.
You know a lot about
I am growing in my mindfulness. I am truly
right.
In my mindfulness.
Peace and Purpose founder. So yeah, but basically, Vipassana is a sensory-based meditation where you sit quietly, silently, and observe the sensations. And it's recommended that you do it every morning and every night for an hour. And you can go somewhere and practice it 3 to 6 times a year for 3 days or 10 days. If you're a new person, you do it for 10 days. And I think I talked about this once before on Rolling Out, in that those 10 days, you can't speak the whole time. And you basically can't look at people or interact with people in any type of way. It's really an opportunity to shift all your attention inward to really work to build this inner strength and resilience. That's like the point. And free yourself from these everything, right? And now I've had to really go back deep into Vipassana. For a while, I would just meditate daily, maybe 15 minutes, but I had not really sat in my Vipassana practice for a while. But throughout COVID, more and more people, more than ever, honestly, people have reached out to us saying they need solutions for stress, for chronic pain, just all sorts of ailments, not being able to sleep at night, just people hearing the verdict pertaining to Breonna Taylor and just all the police brutality and everything that's going on. People feel more stressed than ever. We have students who lost their jobs, students who now have become teachers and they can't work their jobs anymore. We have so many people with these massive life-changing transitions that have occurred because of COVID. They're in need of some healing. So in offering more and more yoga, that's me giving all this energy, and you can't give from an empty cup. So in order to continue to do the job and give, I have to really work towards replenishing myself by resting and bringing more meditation into my life. So it was really hard, but I'm happy to be doing Vipassana again, or I would not probably be able to offer this practice to people in our community.
Back up, Carrie. Hold on. Back up. You know I love you. For an hour, I'm supposed to do what?
Meditate.
I love that.
No, I know you said like keep quiet, go somewhere. What?
Meditate.
So so basically your daily practice is 2 hours, 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the evening. But then you can go to a center and do it with people 3 to maybe 6 times a year. I think the one in Michigan, for example, you can go twice a year. You can go in the summer, and then you can go during the holiday season for 10 days. And during that 10-day period, you sit with noble silence, and you all kind of eat the same things, and you commune together, and you are together. So you feel their energy, but you just don't engage with them because you're focused on your own energy.
I like that. I'm an only child, so I'm used to not talking.
Me too. My mom's only child, you know how that is.
You want me to be quiet for 10 days, Carrie? Me? You want me?
I didn't think I could do it either.
10 days is a long time.
Like a challenge.
I don't even know what to say. I was like,
10 days
it felt really good though. Like I didn't even want to talk, and I realized how many things I said that didn't need to be said.
I'm with Tierra. 10 days is
10 days is a long time. You ever like go on a cruise and it's like you good for like the first 5 days on a cruise, but once you get to that 6th day on the 7th day cruise, like I'm ready to go.
Too long.
Yeah.
That was too long.
I care.
It's a cool thing to try.
I'll try. You know what? Tomorrow morning I'm gonna join you. But I'll try an hour. I'll try tonight. I'll try an hour tonight to be quiet and not look at nothing or touch.
And look, Romeo, you and anybody else who's listening, it's okay if you start zoning out, thinking about a song, your to-do list, whatever it is, your legs start to hurt. Whatever happens, don't worry. Don't judge yourself. just try again, because it is a practice. You know, they call it a meditation practice because it's not easy. It's not easy. So
now, I think I mastered the not saying anything for a long time, but I can't not say anything and not do anything. I haven't worked my way up to that. So I'm going to try that too. So not saying and not doing, just being. It's my
you're actually really, you're kind of doing the work is to, when you notice a thought, let it pass instead of dwell on it. When you notice a sensation like, oh man, my leg hurting, instead of just thinking about that leg and drawing energy to that sensation, just bringing it back within and noticing how you're breathing. So it's like you're training your mind. That's the work, the only work you're doing, training your mind to focus on one thing rather than many things.
And the focus is supposed to be me, right?
Yep, that's it.
That's it.
So are my eyes closed, Carrie? And when I'm doing this?
It could be closed. It's usually recommended that eyes are closed, but sometimes, or in the instance of people that have experienced any sort of trauma, it actually may be hard to close your eyes. And it's easier to ruminate if you've experienced some trauma and you sit there with eyes closed. All sorts of things might start to come up for you. So I wouldn't recommend that everyone in all instances closes their eyes. But in that instance, if your eyes are open and you feel more comfortable with them open, I would say I'm just going to demonstrate, I guess, like having a soft gaze forward, like having your eyes like softly open. Like maybe you gaze at a candle, the flame of a candle, or you gaze at something still, or you just gaze forward. But definitely try that, or eyes closed if you feel comfortable.
Okay, and am I laying down, sitting with my legs crossed, Indian style? Like, what am I doing? How is my posture?
So this is one way you can meditate, but lots of folks, I don't know how long we've been on air, but even this could be uncomfortable for people. And if you feel really, really uncomfortable, painful, it's going to be hard to just focus on your breathing. You're going to have to focus on that leg. But if it falls asleep, it's good to just kind of like try to forget about it and focus on your breath. But if you feel pain, it's good to be in a position where you don't feel painful. And so this might be good to start until you can sit here for a while uncomfortably without pain. Or you can lie on your back, or you can, but a lot of times people will go to sleep if they lie on their back. So you really have to do that work of focusing on your breath if you lie on your back, because it's easy to go to sleep.
You be just over there knocked out.
That's what I recommend to people who have issues sleeping. I'm like, just meditate on your back. Just meditate.
Carrie, you just said Carrie, you just set a personal challenge. My aunt, Janice Simmons, she watches the show.
Hey, Janice.
Good morning, Janice.
She just texted me and said, me and her tonight, we're going to actually start teaming up, and we're going to figure out how we can do this together via FaceTime or something. But we're going to take your challenge. I'm going to take your challenge. We in.
Yeah. So, I love to hear it. Yes. Well, thank you for having me here and being able to share more about Vipassana and breathing and all of that.
Love it.
I hope you all have a good, peaceful week.
You too.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Just so y'all know, Carrie's my yoga instructor. Y'all can have.
So what? You don't share?
No,
he don't share. He
just had to say mine. Like I didn't know.
But that's all of them. That's he like Dawn and Shay and.
Thank you, Portia. Yeah, I was there.
And
what's wrong with you, Tierra?
I liked her too. I was gonna follow her and try to keep up, but now
you can like and you can follow, but you can't have. Okay, you can play with the toy, but you cannot have the toy. Okay,
you gotta share your toys. I'll bring it back.
Actually, producer, I need you to tell her what's going on. Portia already told her how I am. Good morning, rolling out Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Snapchat, wherever you at. We good this morning, and Miss Shay Berry, Miss Portia Monique, the infamous Miss Portia Monique, Romeo International, and that other guy.
I like that bow. That bow is cute.
Let me tell you something. Don't do that, Portia. Let me say something. This is what I realized. Portia Monique and AR Shaw, they got a fan club.
Do we?
Them two think they slick. Cause Them DMs, I get those notifications, and them DMs.
What they be saying? What they be saying, Romeo? What they be saying?
What is it? With Portia? I think when Portia was showing her love necklace, dudes was like, yeah, I love too. Hey, buddy, we talking about
okay. Hey, y'all, hey.
And don't let Amir have his hair down. Oh my God, it's
once Amir get his hair done, they be like, "Oh, Amir is back. Oh, I love his hair. Oh, Amir."
He'll be
back tomorrow, y'all. For all y'all that's wondering where he is, he'll be back tomorrow.
He'll have his shiny dreads for y'all.
And I'm gonna have me a love and a vote necklace on tomorrow. I'm just
saying. Don't do that. She got a fan club. Tina, for your report.
Let's get back to it. We did one of my stories already, so let's go to the next one.
Let's go to that story.
All right, Cardi B and Offset. Cardi B yesterday, she was viral for a variety of different things. She actually had a nude that's okay. You could just say it like that. She had a nude that slipped out that she posted by accident, and then she said she tried to delete. What, that it was an accident?
Yeah, that it was an accident. I'm sorry, go ahead.
She said that she accidentally hit post and then she turned her phone off, thinking that if she turned it off, it wouldn't post. But by the time she cut her phone back on, it was already up there and it had gotten out.
Okay, that sounds plausible. Okay, that's cool. That's fine.
Do y'all need to see it? I got a copy of it just in case.
But she's naked, like in most of her stuff anyway.
Yeah, like, that's the thing about Cardi B. It's
like or a thong or whatever they call it. Like she literally looks naked.
So what do you expect? So why are you?
I mean, there was nothing. I don't think there was anything surprising.
Yeah.
That
and I think that's almost not a good thing, but it's like Cardi B having a nip slip is not going to make or break her career. It's just not.
I love you.
Already and then the reason why they got back together. Okay, that's cool. I mean, I think at this point they're both married to the dysfunction of it all.
There you go.
And sometimes you miss that. I can attest to that. Sometimes you miss the dysfunction of your relationship, and it's not mentally healthy at all. I'm just acknowledging that I was self-aware and I knew what was going on after the fact.
Yeah.
But sometimes you miss that dysfunction. You be like, oh.
Yeah, that's what she said. She said she started to miss him. She said that they have a really, really big platform. So a lot of the things that normal couples go through, they go through, but with everybody watching. And she said sometimes she acts crazy. She makes crazy decisions, like going to file for a divorce. But that doesn't mean that she actually wants to divorce her husband.
Yeah, and they keep the spice in their life. Sometimes acting crazy is fun.
And before you move on, I will say the only thing I did not like, because like Portia said, their relationship is their relationship. I didn't like the attack on Offset. I honestly didn't, because when the information first came out, it was like, oh, what did he do? He did it again. He wrong.
He did though.
I mean, I don't think that nobody is gonna just go file for divorce.
Hold on. But then 2 days later, see what y'all just did? But 2 days later, they kicking it. Now everybody's like, oh, this is crazy. Come on now.
I heard that Bobby Brown song. It's my prerogative. Do what I want to do.
And Bobby Brown and Whitney Houston had the best. I think they started out.
They kicked it off.
They kicked it off.
They were must-see TV. Okay. So I'm just saying. They the Whitney and Bobby of this generation.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully without the drugs. But anyway. On to the next report. I hope they're not on drugs.
Allegedly, they have drugs. Allegedly. I'm sure.
I don't do crack. Crack is whack.
Crack is whack.
I don't do crack is cheap.
Oh my God. Y'all are hilarious.
So speaking of women in big positions, Rihanna, congratulations to Rihanna, my girl right here, money making Riri, has made the Forbes richest self-made women list for the first time actually this year. So that's a big deal. It says that her net worth is $600 million. Of course, she has, a plethora of brands that are billion-dollar brands, but Rihanna herself, they're saying she's at a net worth of 600 million.
Yeah, thank you for Fenty, Rihanna. I appreciate it. What?
Which part are we talking about? The beauty line, or are we talking about the lingerie?
Well, I damn sure ain't talking about no beauty line.
Beauty line, all of it. She's a mogul.
She is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's a mogul, and she don't have to lie about it. Not to say that, you know.
Portia's throwing shade. Who you talking about, Portia?
I'm just saying, like, she don't have to lie about it. She has receipts. Like, there's no fake news with that. That's all I'm saying.
And yeah, I think when we talk about economic empowerment, and a lot of what like Munson was saying, just about us taking control of our buying power, I think Rihanna is a great example of what betting on yourself and your community and getting behind those in our community can do for somebody. I mean, Rihanna really is that chick.
Kathleen Collins said to your last report, when you're young, dysfunction is fun and the sex is hot. When you get older, y'all just clowning and cost each other money and help.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, they're superstars that got. I mean, Cardi's what, 28? That's really young to be married at that level that she's on, and Offset too.
Yeah, so. But
he's just hopefully trying to get away with whatever he think he can get away with, and then when
I'm sure he's gonna continue to blame it on the lifestyle. And right. Keep going back and forth.
He's a man, you know. He gonna continue to try to get away with whatever he's trying to get away with. And once she put her foot down again, he gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna get right. And then
there you go, Portia.
It's the cycle.
It's the cycle.
Let me tell you something. The beautiful thing about a black woman, a black man will only do as much as a black woman will allow him to do. My mom and my dad, before my dad passed, were together forever. But I guarantee you, in 2 seconds, if my mama said, "Hey, take this trash out," his ass up, take the trash out, regardless of what he say. I'm watching the game. You better get up. Yes, ma'am. Like black women, to Portia's point, what Offset is doing or what she's doing is what is allowed. I guarantee.
And I do think that Cardi and Offset in a very dysfunctional way. I guess her filing for divorce was her getting her point across at the moment. So he might act good for the next 3-6 months.
Right. We only have so much to pull from to be, to show somebody that we mean business. So that one right there was just her effort to show you something. And he, he went and got
the Rolls Royce and then the little car seat in the back. You gonna leave me with this baby and I got
you know my baby need her daddy. I mean, all of it. Listen, we've been there, done that. We know them. We know all the lines. It's cool.
Hey, pull up to Portia Monique with a Rolls Royce. You'll be forgiven. She'll forgive you right now.
Perhaps, but I am past the point where I can be bought. Like, I mean, there was one point in my life where I'd be like, "Ooh, pretty shiny things."
Right.
Now I'm like, "Ooh, I can buy my own pretty shiny things. Ooh, I can manufacture my own pretty shiny things. Ooh, I can provide for my community." Like, yeah, I'm good on that. I'm just a little bit older than 28. I just want to let y'all know.
And you only 29. I don't know why you talking a little bit older.
Just a little bit older than 28, and I'm not at that level where I can be bought anymore. There was a time in my life, so I'm not shunning it.
You know what's so crazy, Portia? Oh my God, it amazes me, and I'm glad because Portia be giving y'all gems sometimes, young lady. It amazes me the level of women and men that can be bought off of the simplest, like a bottle in a section will. Jesus Christ, it's the simple thing. And Portia was there with
$100 flight.
$100 flight, Tiara. Tiara, $100 flight to like Miami. You ain't really going nowhere. You just going to Miami.
Bar, y'all. Just,
Come on, man. It's levels. Teach them. Oh, my fault. I'm sorry.
I think we got some Black history, though. What we got next?
Who's Black history? What we got?
It's a patent I got to talk about. Where's that?
We waiting on you.
I'm waiting on. We all waiting. All right. So the Black History Jewel of today. Today is October the 15th. Way back when, I think this is in, I want to say this either 1700 something. Garrett T. Morgan patented the gas mask. So shout out to that amazing Black man. A lot of times we don't get 1914. That's when it came out. It's a lot of Black people who invent and create and have done amazing things that we just do not get the credit that we deserve. So the gas mask and the idea of the gas mask, it was revolutionary, still used all around the world today, but we just don't automatically think of it was a Black person behind that. So I just want us to apparently he also invented the traffic signal. So shout out to him.
The one where I get all my tickets from?
Not the camera, the
actual red.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not
all right.
I mean, but are you not stopping at the light? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, don't judge my life. Don't judge my life.
The safety of our community is in your hands, sir.
It was a long time ago. But that's cool though, man. I love hearing those reports. Definitely need more of them. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put that up on social today.
Yeah.
We got birthdays?
Hey, we got a birthday. Fun fact, did y'all know that at restaurants when they sing the birthday song in different ways, it's because you're not supposed to sing the birthday song in public over like copyrights and stuff?
Girl,
because of the copyright, I'm telling you, because of copyrights of the birthday song, you're not supposed to sing it publicly.
Oh, okay.
In terms of like establishments and all of that singing it. Like, of course you could go out and sing it, but like restaurant chains make their own songs because of that.
You push your face.
Okay.
Okay.
Whatever.
Okay. Right. I mean, it's okay. It's fine.
Oh man.
It's true.
Okay.
Happy birthday to my girl Keisha Cole. She turned 39. And it's crazy because Ashanti's birthday was the other day, and I always listen to them two back to back. Anthony Joshua, his birthday. Tito Jackson, the infamous brother of Michael Jackson and the Jackson family, as well as Genuine. He's 50.
Shout out to Genuine. Happy birthday. Genuine set me on my course. Let me tell you, Genuine set me on my course. It wasn't Usher, it wasn't Tyrese or Tank or whoever else was around that time. Genuine set me on my course of Romeo International. Oh my God, his songs, his creativity, his dancing. I met him one time. He gave me key points to women. Oh my God, I didn't even know. Happy birthday, Genuine. Thank you, brother.
Happy birthday, Genuine. And also happy birthday to Tito Jackson. He over there looking all suave and debonair at 67. Okay? Y'all can't tell him nothing. I'm just saying happy birthday.
Well, it's Keisha Cole.
We got balloons, yeah. The cake is on the way. We got the music playing, cause it's your holiday. Woo! We invited family, and everybody came. I strike a pose for me like you in a picture frame. You got your finest clothes on. And $1 million smile. So we gon' celebrate you for a while. Yeah. And don't forget we got these candles. When you away, don't forget we got the candles. Happy birthday, gonna celebrate you for a while. Candles, blowing you away. Wait. Candles. Happy birthday, happy girl. So if you're proud to make another year, then put your hands up
and wave them in the air.
Ashley, don't do that.
What you say?
I see Ashley through the computer. Don't do that look. You don't understand. Genuine was pivotal. Pony was, man.
Pony is a big record, but I didn't know that Genuine was a staple like that.
What are you talking? He made it easy for you know what? I'm just saying.
He made it easy.
That's a real raunchy song. When you go back and you listen to those, he was singing them just because it was a catchy tune. But he said, if you blank blank, let's do it. Ride it, that pony. That's raunchy. And we was young singing that too.
It ain't super young. I didn't even know what it meant when I was singing it at 5 years old.
It is not one of the best songs ever. It is none of your friends' business. It's none of your friends' business what we doing tonight.
It's a fun song. Like, it's a super fun song. As bad as it is, it's fun to listen to when you're out.
What's fun?
Pony. Like, you know, when you go to the Pony, it's like at the club. It's like fun. A lot of white people dance to it. I think it's a fun song.
I don't think it's a fun song, but it's fun.
I mean, not in a sexual way. It's just a fun song.
I didn't say that. I said that. I didn't say that.
Fun when everybody's drunk.
When everybody's drunk.
You know, I don't have fun. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, keep telling us, TR, because
like it's certain songs that you hear that just remind you of like when everybody's out, this is fun when it comes on. The dance or when people get on stage or when people do karaoke. That's a fun karaoke song.
Oh, okay. You got on stage?
I never performed that song on stage.
Y'all crazy. Let's go on to my report, y'all. Happy birthday to those people. Genuine is 50. He look good though.
Black don't front.
Okay, do y'all remember Amy Cooper, who called the police on the bird watcher Christian Cooper? He's a black man. Well, basically, she's back in the news again. She was arraigned yesterday, and she surprise, surprise, lied to police about her assault. But what happened, what she's making news for this time is that it's reported that she made a second call after she called the police the first time after being video recorded. She called a second time and lied to them about being assaulted. And so that's why she's making news this time. But it's just like...
now,
so this is a different case?
No, it's the same case. But on the same day, she called back after she was recorded. She called back to the police and made a more threatening lie. She basically said she was being assaulted by him. So, you know, that just goes to show that these Karens out here are real. And if he did not record it on his phone, it could have gone a completely different way. So
now, is that a crime now in the state of New York?
We will have to ask A.R. Shaw about that and or Google it. I'm not sure if that is a crime right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So it says the report says Ms. Cooper called 911 and told a New York PD dispatcher that a black man was threatening her inside the Central Park. In a previously unreported second phone call, she repeated the accusation and added that the man tried to assault her. When responding officers arrived, she admitted that the male had not tried to assault her or come into contact with her. So on October 13th, one of the DAs said that using the police in a way that is both racially offensive and designed to intimidate is something that cannot be ignored. This process can be an opportunity for introspection and education. So I'm not exactly sure if it's against the law, but we do have something that says in New York, making a false report is a criminal offense under New York Code 240.50. 0.55 and 0.60. It can be charged as a misdemeanor and or a felony and is punishable by up to 1 year in jail and as much as up to 7 years in state prison. So we're gonna go for that 7 years for her. She had a really plush life and she felt very entitled and she almost messed up this man's life because she lied and then said he assaulted her and then took it back. Like, it's just ridiculous at this point. So
yeah.
And just the thought of if we didn't have camera phones today.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. Good thing we have cameras now, and we could put things out there that people can see, so that way we can get the justice in some type of way.
Hopefully Amy Cooper sets the precedence that she can get 7 years up in prison for lying for something.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can see her made an example out of. Yay, Amy. Okay. Next on my report, we have, I think we're talking about voter suppression, y'all. So I was scrolling Twitter, and I saw that Cy Smith, she's I believe she is a stylist. So anyway, so she said, a friend of mine voted today, October 13th, 2020 in Texas. I think it was called Pear something, Texas. Can you make it bigger so we could see? Pearland, Texas. So she said, anybody notice anything interesting about her ballot? So scroll up just a little bit or make it smaller so that we can see the date. So it says 1/1/2015, 3:55 a.m. So basically her friend voted, the voting machine was inaccurate, it was incorrect, and she brought it to the attention of the poll workers, and they said, I'm sure it's nothing, don't worry about it, and you know, maybe the machine is broken, but sometimes it goes through this, it should be fine. And so you can take it down, Ashley. But so she said her friend spoke to a poll manager on duty. She blew it off as being not of importance. She said that doesn't matter. What actually matters is the access code. Okay. And then she said she spoke to somebody else, a really nice gentleman. She gave them details. And then she said that another update was that she just received a call back from the Texas Votes Office. They're going through their rules and regulations to see if the inaccurate date and time are of any consequence. They've also contacted the county clerk's office since they couldn't get through to anyone in Pearland. Then she made another update and said Miss Julie from the Texas Votes called her back after speaking with someone at the county clerk's office. She was told that the date and time stamp is of no importance, still voter suppression, like still let it go. So there's nothing there. She said she sincerely appreciated Julie's assistance because she was about the business, but as far as the county clerk is concerned, this is the same office that sent her documents a few years back saying that they couldn't renew her voter registration because she was listed as a felon, which was not true. So she was, you know, she had some apprehension there as well. So she said, I have zero confidence in that office, and she'll continue to pursue the situation to find a more acceptable and accurate answer.
Well, first of all, I can give a flying F what y'all think about my vote. Can I go back in here and vote again and get the right timestamp? Like, what does all of that matter?
That's crazy.
What does that matter outside of the fact that
they bringing up old stuff as if they didn't allow her to vote, but they did it wrong.
Right. And
like, so, y'all messed up.
And it's like, so if they're going through all of this stuff just to stop our votes, what do y'all think our votes mean? Like, and they mean a lot. Like, if they're going through all of this just to stop our votes and our voice.
Especially in those swing states, it's really important.
They're trying to steal the damn election, y'all. Already.
I agree with you already, and that's the scary part, and that's what we was talking about earlier. The scary part is not only are they trying to steal it, and we got to look out for that. Then we got to look out for being protected at the poll. Then we got to watch our other black celebrities or whoever throwing left hooks. Then you got to watch your timeline to make sure ain't nobody talking about, oh man, my vote don't count. It's like, it's a lot, man. It's a lot. I understand people.
Africa looking better and better every day.
Ghana, girl. Zimbabwe, Kenya, Tanzania. Man, yes.
You got Tiara over here. Like, let me go look at this passport again to make sure it's up to date. I'm for real.
I'm just saying.
I'm not even playing with y'all. I guarantee you, me and my mom. Hey, live from London, it's Romeo. I'm telling y'all, man, I'm not playing. Another 4 years. Because you know what's so crazy? I was watching a documentary on Vice, and they were talking to an old undercover CIA agent, and the question came up: will there be a World War III, and who will it be against? This man, this white man, he was a white man. He said World War III will be a in-house race war, because if you look at the way that the current administration is dividing the country, they're dividing the country in the sense of one particular race or races can't be trusted. And you see the influx in gun violence, guns being purchased, and you also see the influx and boldness of people speaking out. A white man who is for Black Lives Matter, he said 9 times out of 10, that will be the next war if we do not change this administration. He said, if this administration does not change, there's no doubt in his mind the next 4 years that will happen.
Yeah.
No doubt. Yeah.
Get out and vote, y'all.
I wonder will our country ever be united? Like, I feel like the word United States of America is such an interesting word, because we have all of these different types of people here, that is a melting pot, and it should work. Why can't we make it work? Why do we have to be so divided? Even when it comes to voting, I feel like a lot of other countries are looking at us like it's half of the country versus the other half of the country, when at the end of the day we're supposed to be the United States.
I heard one country was like, y'all people in the United States don't even know that they're already under voter suppression. What are you talking about? You have to register to vote. Like, this is people in other countries. Like, don't you live in America?
True.
Yes.
And the variety of experiences, like being Black in America, being white in America, being Hispanic in America, being middle class, being poor class, being high class, all of it's such a caste system in this country. It's really crazy. We're not a United States at all. When will we ever get to that?
Right. Civil War II, white supremacists call it Rohala, aka racial holy war. I believe that. But no, back to Tiara's point, like other countries are like, I don't understand register to vote. They're like, what? You live there? Yeah. Well, what you registering for? That's a good point. What am I? If I live here,
another voter suppression tactic.
What am I registering for?
You gotta be registered to vote. You gotta be qualified to vote.
You gotta be qualified. There you go. That's the best thank you portion. I like that. You have to be qualified to vote. Huh? What?
Yeah.
What? I gotta take a test?
Yeah.
I gotta know why. So London is looking better and better. Just saying.
I don't know. That's kind of like, why can't we all just get along? Because despite whoever wins, it's still gonna be a war within our country. You know what I mean?
No, what? That's actually a great question. That's actually a great question to pose. Do you see Facebook? Do you see the United States being united, as Tiara said, in the near future? Can you see the United States?
Not.
What was the question, Romeo? I'm sorry.
Can you see the United States?
Will we ever be a United States?
Will we ever be a United States?
Because you know how it was always the Confederate versus the Union. It's never been a united country. It's just all these different states on one continent.
Maybe united by land, except for Alaska.
Yeah,
Hawaii.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
Somebody said something drastic has to happen, like aliens got to come there. Like aliens got to come to the world for the world to be like, it got to be something drastic, like, you know, You ever watch one of them movies? I know this is sound bad, but it's Halloween. You ever watch one of them movies where like it's a comet coming to Earth or something like that, and everybody got to band together to do that? Say it got to be something like that.
It got to be a bigger picture to get all of these differences of opinions to come together for the greater cause.
Beverly Johnson said, "United when Jesus comes." Yep.
We'll be united on a different planet, as in heaven.
One great morning when this light.
Let me tell you something. When Jesus comes, I don't know nobody. I'm gonna say that. Hey,
what the heck is that?
I think that's Tiara. She froze up.
Oh, is she frozen?
Oh Lord. She done got King James. Oh Lord. and she's stuck in one place. Oh Lord. King James. Are you trying to sign in, King James? Come on in. It is. Shout out to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, man. YouTube. Tiara's having some technical difficulties, as y'all can see, because she's frozen on Facebook too. We're fixing it. We working with it.
There it is.
They tried to suppress me, y'all.
They trying not to make you great today. They
suppressed me.
They're trying to make you not so great today. You're gonna be great today.
They're suppressing my zone.
King James just texted me and said, "Stop trying to take his spotlight. That's his thing."
Oh.
Iris Baker said it would be nice if the United States, but that ain't happening no time soon. Kim Taylor said if the current administration is changed, if society continues to really see what the culture must change and get on track, we'll probably never be 100% united. Kim, you asking a lot. I'm just gonna say no.
I mean,
I'm gonna stick with Tiara. I'm gonna say no.
It's just, that's the hard thing. Even when you think having kids, like what kind of environment would we be raising children in at this point? And not to say that this country has always been racist. This country has always been harder for Black people to get ahead and things of that nature. But I think the fact that it's so apparent and it's so blatant really makes you think we have not come as far as we were thinking.
Right. And that, to your point, it's not a fear, but it's concern. That's one of my concerns. The blatancy, like even with phones, camera, television, it's still not a hesitation to people. Like literally, you can be caught. It's just like people who still rob banks. You know what I'm saying? Like you know it's impossible to rob a bank, but you still rob banks because you feel like you can rob a bank. So the blatancy of people is my main concern because they don't have a conscience at that point in time. So what happens, like you said, what happens when people are still being attacked or oppressed or trafficked? It's like a lot of people feel like they can't be touched.
Yeah, entitled. Entitled is a really good word for it.
Entitled. Mm-hmm. That is a real big scary thing.
Are you still frozen? Oh, something going on with your video, girl. Okay, let's just close out my report section with I just wanted to give you guys a glimpse of the lines that were in Georgia. Early voting opened up yesterday in Georgia. And I just want to give you guys a glimpse of how long these lines are for early voting. These people are outside. Go ahead and play the video, please. These people are outside. This is a line.
Damn.
She's not even close to the big front of the line. Not even close to the front of the line.
Wow.
It's wrapping. You guys see the line wrapping? This is early voting in Georgia. Still not even to the front of the line. Still not to the front of the line. And people are supposed to be social distancing too. Like if you don't have a chair, you just out there for hours. This is complete blatant voter suppression, y'all. This is enough to make somebody want to go home. She's nearing the front of the line now. She's still not at the front of the line. She's driving. Keep in mind, she's driving, y'all. Yeah. And then when you get inside, you're still gonna rap.
Right.
It's still rapping. Look at that.
Do people know? Is this lack of machines, or is it just?
It's just voter suppression. It's them deliberately being slow at doing whatever it is for whatever it takes to stop the vote.
Yeah.
What was that?
I was just saying we don't see those type of pictures in those different communities, because I know Romeo brought up, is it the machines? But it's like we don't see that same problem occurring with high populations of people of different races. It's just really our communities that have these issues.
Got it. Understand. Interesting. Very, very interesting. I do understand.
So, is that not crazy? And that's just one place in Georgia. That was in Georgia, y'all. And just imagine our elderly people being out there in lines with no chairs, no food, no water to eat. What if you don't have help? What if you don't have a community to come and drop some stuff off? Like, what if you don't have that? What if you have to rely on transportation to get to the polls and they might leave you because you need to get back to your place of residence or whatever it is because you're catching the public transportation, whatever.
Right. I would love to see. I don't know if they're doing it in Detroit. What's y'all basketball arena?
Little Caesars.
All right. So I know they're doing it at Atlanta's and LA's. As far as they've set up voting in that location, I would like to see, and I'll do my research. I would like to see how that process is going with the voter registration inside the bigger arenas, and learn how that goes. Very curious to that.
Yeah, I'm hoping. So I was on the fence on how we were gonna go vote because I still want to make it a family event, because it's a tradition. But I'm like, if I'm still going to the polls, I'm going to the polls. But that video right there is just prompting me to be really prepared. Everybody take a chair. We got food for the rest of the day. Like, we just gonna pick our chairs up and move if that's what we need to do. That's what we're gonna do.
What up, Brent? Wait, when you going, Push?
November 3rd. We're gonna go on November 3rd to the polls, and
Why are you going on November 3rd?
I want to vote early, but I feel like I have to.
No.
I feel like I have to be there.
No.
Well, I'm kind of rocking with Push on this one. I was gonna go.
I feel like I have to be there on the day. I don't know. I'll explore my options. I wanted to actually physically be there on the day.
That's like signing up to be the last person to get on the plane.
But you saw the lines for early voting.
Oh no, they went. TJ went yesterday in DeKalb County, and he said it was pretty simple. He went over to DeKalb Mall, so he said it was pretty simple.
But I mean, even with the early voting, I don't know if you saw the earlier story about someone did the early voting and the timestamp and date on their ticket receipt was in 2015.
That's why I kind of do encourage early voting, because what if you get into a situation like that on November 3rd?
I want to be there for the process. When I come back, I want to actually be there for the process. So I want to be there on the day. I don't mind standing in the line. I'm gonna rock it like that.
Well, no, that's gonna be a long line. I remember those lines. I've done that. I love early voting. I mean, it really eliminates the issue.
I want an early vote, but I want to make sure
physically
that it counts
early vote.
too.
I don't know if I'm mailing my ballot. I didn't even request one, so. And it's just pop in the library.
I don't necessarily trust it. And then you see things like, okay, January 1st, 2015. Ma'am,
I'm not going to think of the negative. I'm not going to visualize the negative.
Well, that happened yesterday.
No, we're talking about with you. See, so we know we need you to go early to see if that happens to you.
Y'all, I'm just.
Yeah, early. Let's get the votes in.
Yeah, okay. I'll definitely explore my options. I was kind of set on going on November 3rd.
Nah, I think they're waiting. Everybody who waits, you sometimes you wait and you miss. Not that you will miss, but you'll miss all day. I think we should be having. What you say?
No, go ahead.
You voting early hours? Shirley, you
voting? So what? Yeah, what are y'all saying on Facebook? Are y'all voting early, or are you guys waiting for November 3rd to vote? What are you guys doing?
I'm gonna send our producer Ashley. First of all, shout out to Melinda Johnson. She's super dope. I'm gonna send producer Ashley 2 photos of what it looks like inside Atlanta's State Farms Arena. Because a lot of people had questions about when the NBA decided to open up their facilities as voting safe places, what it will look like. And we actually have photos of the inside of what it looks like inside State Farm. And we'll be able to show. But I will say, when I went to the last time I went voting, I remember a long line, and then I remember 1, 2, 6 stations, maybe 8. Like out of all the people that I saw, like six voting stations and stuff. Which was awkward.
Facebook is kind of torn. Iris Baker says she's voting on November 3rd. Kim Taylor says she's voting early. She always does. Connie Samuel says she's voting early. What y'all doing? And Romeo, to your point, one of the last times, it's been mixed for me in terms of going to vote. There have been times where we've gone right to the front, got our ballots, got our numbers, went and voted. No wait, no nothing. Right. But there have also been times where we waited 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. And so it's just been intermittent.
Was it the people, or was it the facility not being prepared?
I think it was the people. The facility, so our facility is pretty widespread. We probably have like 20 voting stations. My town is not that big. I don't live in Detroit, so my town is not that big. So we probably have 20 stations, so to speak, where you can go cast your votes and all that. We can't hear you, Monson.
Connie, you got to send us that photo. Connie said, Connie Samuel said in Houston, they have drive-through early voting locations.
I'm with that, Connie. Right.
I would love to see it. Please send us that photo.
Send us some pictures.
Yeah, send us some pictures of that. I'm with that. That's what we need.
Drive-through? Nope. Nobody. What? You either gonna stand in line or you gonna sit in your car in line? Come on, man.
I can sit in the car. I go get me a full tank of gas and sit. That's better than
your ID.
Outside. Right. Chick-fil-A, they got a they cornered the market on that. Those long lines, people be outside taking your order, taking your money, and as soon as you get to the front, you just get your order and you go. We need to learn from Chick-fil-A. Maybe we can send some of the Chick-fil-A workers to work at the voting so we can make sure that we're getting these lines moving.
Hey, that is perfect. Even though the vote is going good.
Not that I eat Chick-fil-A like that. I stopped eating meat, y'all.
Sounds like.
I just got a message that voting for Black communities in Albany voting is going well for those areas.
Where's Shirley saying?
Shirley Carter, where you at? Chime in.
We do it as a family thing. Matter of fact, I do have photos of that as well. Hope Ashley got those photos.
Let's pull them up.
I'm definitely gonna, I trust Munson, but I'm definitely, when I get back, my plans are to go. My mother already, my family went.
I'm down with moms. I want to make sure I'm in. I don't have any questions. I've been present. I've been counted.
As long as your ballot receipt does not say January 1st, 2015, 3:30 in 8, 3:30 a.m.
4 times, Kanye West. 4 times something.
I just want people to be aware and to make sure that they're noticing and acknowledging and paying attention.
Very different. Yes. Very different. I understand the point, but I think you can say it in a very, very intelligent way.
Tell me
Be sure to check out your receipts as you're casting your ballot.
Absolutely. That's exactly what I mean.
Yeah, check out your receipts. Don't leave them. Yeah, please show those photos. So this is the photos of Atlanta's State Farms Arena, where the NBA has actually opened up their polls. I think this is Fulton County. So literally, if you live in Fulton County, you can literally look at the number of stations that they have prepared for people to vote and be done and be out and be home. I love it.
1, 2, 3, 4. I wanted to see the other one again. I wanted to count them.
It must have been a pre-photo op.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4 times 8 is 32.
Prepared. I love it. Love it. Can't beat that. And shout out to the NBA, man. They man. Adam Silver for president. I don't know about y'all.
I don't know about for president, but he does a good job.
Right.
He's about his money.
He's done a conscious, but still we need more black coaches in the NBA.
We need more black owners.
And owners. And we just need Chase Bank and a few others to finance the purchases, because that's a pretty ticket. But collectively we can come together and do it. We got $1 trillion.
Mm-hmm. Man, I can't take Tiara nowhere. Thank you, Ashley, for those photos. Thank you, Melinda. Because I see it already. Strong, black, beautiful women. I can see Tiara already. We need to own it. Well, we just getting coffee, Tiara. Like, calm down. Let's just get the coffee.
Oh, no, she already got it in her jeans.
I mean, we own it. And like I said, speaking from somebody who is the daughter of a former professional NBA player, I do see the discrepancy in what happens when you just have people playing for a team versus people are part of conversations about the economic aspect of what it means to be in sports.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, please.
Kevin Garnett spoke on this recently, and basically he was pushing the agenda of ownership and how the players come to the league and they don't make as much, but then once they started, they weren't making as much, but then they built this really large enterprise, so to speak, and now it's worth billions, and the players don't have a piece of that. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna see if I can send that to producer Ashley so she can pull that up. But ownership is definitely powerful.
You can make a lot of money playing basketball or playing whatever sport it is, but not enough players get financial literacy training and how to actually look at themselves as businesses outside of just being an athlete on a team.
And who did that? Because to get on Portia real quick, Kevin Garnett, he can't say that. You can't be top 3 in the league with probably, I think, the second or fourth highest salary, talking about not making money. 2, it is not on the league to teach NBA players the value of their money that they're getting paid. If you're getting paid millions and you don't know how to manage millions, it ain't my job to teach you how to manage millions. I'm paying you for a service, a job. That's on you. So,
but how do we get ownership of the sports that we play if we're just so happy to get millions and millions and millions, but that doesn't provide long-term legacy in the term of sports? You know what I mean? Like, how can we actually get our own controlling power in the NBA? We need percentages of these organizations.
because what happens is these players and even the ex-players, they've made all this money. But what they don't do is put that money into a particular team because they're not loyal to a team. What Shaq did, I will say this, there's a lot of things about Shaq I don't like. There's a lot of things about Charles Barkley I don't like. But what Charles Barkley did, he bought a piece of the Phoenix Suns. Shaq bought a piece of the Sacramento Kings. Like, unless these players literally, because let's be honest, if I got $1 million, Tiara got $1 million, Portia got, if all of us are millionaires, you telling me the three of us right now with 80 million can't say, hey, we're gonna buy half of the Atlanta Hawks? Like, come on. It's really that simple. It's just that players don't do it because they don't take the time to learn how to manage their money, or they don't want to. They don't want to.
Our oppression. That's a part of our oppression. We were never given the opportunity to be business owners. So that's not something that we come from. A lot of people come from the bottom. So they're happy with just making enough money and saying, oh, I got millions now. I'm good. My family's good. But
there you go. Right.
We need to have bigger conversations about what it means to be an owner. We don't need more players. We got enough players. We need people having conversations about being team managers, consultants, agents.
Yeah.
There you go.
We need more infrastructure around the business of sports.
So let's see what Kevin Garnett had to say, Romeo. We have the video pulled up.
Peons that you used to in here. You're gonna talk to me with some fucking respect, and I'm a man first, homie. And I stood on that. Give a fuck. I make bread too. I got a plane too. I do that too. So what you saying? Right, they coming for the name on the back, not the name on the front. Hey, what's up? How you doing? Keep it moving. So when I came in there, I came in that demeanor. And it made the relationship a lot better because it was all about respect versus the intangibles and all the bullshit that comes sometimes getting in between that make things rough sometimes. And if you put enough blood, sweat, and tears in these organizations, you should have at least the option to be able to buy into or be able to have a piece of it. Hell, you help build it. I got the Minnesota, man. That shit was like worth 89 million or something. He paid a couple joints, man. We got in 10 years in that. That shit was almost at $1 billion, man. You know, like you don't get none of that. You know, you don't get none of that. That appreciation for that, but you know that culture and then what people know and why they come into the games, you built all that and sweat, blood, and equity, and you don't get a choice to be in that. That has to change at some
point. Okay. So here's my flip. My flip is that, and I'm not okay. Well, it sounds like I'm against it. My flip is you didn't come in with a plan. The one thing, this is what I loved about Kobe Bryant to LeBron James. Kobe Bryant said, this is my franchise. I'm staying with this franchise. This franchise is going to invest in Kobe Bryant so that Kobe Bryant can build my school, my whatever. That's what this franchise is going to do. LeBron James came in on the other end. Here's my team, and my team is going to tell y'all what I am going to do coming into Miami, Cleveland, and whatever. What Kevin Garnett is talking about, he didn't start off with the plan. He started off as a player. So to Tiara's point,
which a lot of people do in the league. Mm-hmm.
So he didn't come in with the business. He wanted to play. But 5 years later, you want to jump in on the business after you done built it to a certain point. No, sir. You got to come in with that. You have to come in, hey,
how do you know?
I think we're so far behind in terms of a culture and mentality. We're not taught. If you give a black man from the hood who grows up in tenements and all of this, and you give him
how do you know to come in with that mentality?
You don't come in with that mentality.
Kobe Bryant, his dad was in the league, so he had a leg up. LeBron James was just a special case. Like he had a leg up. He has mentors around him, like Jay-Z, like you know, people who can influence him.
You're not gonna tell me that my Portia Monique, who I find to be an intelligent woman, if a company comes to Portia Monique and say, hey, we're willing to pay you $30 million, that means Portia is going to sit there and be like, well, if you're willing to pay me 30, technically I'm worth 60. So you might as well pay me 20, take this other 10 and build me right into this company. That's what
right. So the Portia Monique now, with the education that she has and the knowledge that she has now, would say that. But you take somebody that's fresh out of high school, fresh out of college, that lived in the hood all their life. I'm not saying that's Kevin Garnett's story because I don't know what his story is, but a typical basketball player, you know, his story is he grew up in the hood. His family didn't have nothing. That was his only way out, and he made it. I don't know if he's particularly thinking about. Well, it might be. It might be, but I don't know if they're particularly thinking about ownership at that time. They're thinking about getting out the hood. They're thinking about providing for their family. So, if they don't have the right inner circle around them, they may not move to that mindset.
So whose fault is it, Tiara? Because it's not the NBA fault.
The problem that I have with the NBA is we as Black people, we have to, if all of the Black players was to say we done with the NBA would crumble. But we just don't think to do that because we're so happy with the money that we're getting from them. We have to build ourselves into whatever structure that they got going on, and we have to start demanding more buying power into the NBA. We have to start getting more agents. We have to start getting more managers, and we need players who retire to be able to have equity in the teams that they play for. There is so many things, even when it comes to my dad, this is why I'm so passionate about it, that the NCAA is still selling his stuff at St. John's, still selling his jersey, still selling his cards, still making profit off of him because they paid for him to go to school, because they put him in a position to get drafted into the NBA, because he's a John Wooden Award winner or whatever, but he did not get the full amount of what he deserved. And that's the same thing that happened with slavery, because it's masters who do not allow Black people to advance and get ahead.
That is the community and that is the family fault. These students come out of high school and the first thing is, hey, we want to pay for your son to come to our college and give him a great education. Yay! The kid goes there for 2 years. He didn't go for the education. Think about it. He goes for 2 years and then he's off to the NBA. The NBA says, hey, we're going to treat you just like how the college treats you. We're going to give you this money and you got to play for us for 5 years. Yay! And that's where he goes and he plays. But hold up. But then the athlete gets hurt after 2 years or something like that. And then it's the NBA's fault for not taking care of him or his financial responsibility.
I'm not asking the NBA to take care of nobody, because you have put in equity by being a part of these teams.
And who teaches the equity? Your family, your community. Who teaches the equity?
Our community is not taught, or that's not something that gets passed down. Me being a white man in this country is totally different from a Black woman's experience. Everything that I'm learning is stuff that I taught myself, or people that I get to be around and learn from, I can't be what I can't see. And that's the same story for a lot of Black men who go out and play sports.
So who's at fault?
When my dad was getting drafted, he went to the draft a year early because my grandmother told him that you might get hurt playing basketball at St. John's. So instead of you playing basketball at St. John's another year, go get that money. He should have went the next year after that and got drafted to the Celtics, but he ended up getting drafted at the wrong time.
So he didn't go for the education. So he didn't go for the education.
What I'm saying is when you come from the projects, it's a different type of conversation that you have at these tables about what's best for the family.
I agree with you. But what I'm asking you is, who's at fault? Is it the person that's being taught, or is it the place that he gets to the end? That teacher, that coach, that parent, that community should have said, hey, young man, this is the path. You can't get no
in the hood.
You can't give nobody the path after they're successful.
You gotta eat every single day.
Come on, man.
That's the same situation for these rappers that get caught up in these 360 deals. It's the same thing.
You have a mentality of coming for survival versus, providing for your legacy. And sometimes when you in the hood and that's all you know, and your uncles and your aunts and your grandfather, and it's been passed down, like that's all that you know. Like, how do you know? But
you can't hold fault
about equity. I don't think nobody. I don't think
I think there are two things that we're saying, and they're attempting to change. You actually can decide, and I think that many people, if you think about Reebok and how they said, well, let's delay Alan, this big check till you might mature in a way that you can get it. If you systematically are oppressed, both mentally, physically, before when you come, you're just a commodity. And at the end of the day, you don't have a system that says, here's how we're going to protect. Because we've watched way too many people end up where they're lost. So, is it the company? Sure it is. Because we gave you the money and it just went down the drain. We understand that. And it's not a lack of the person's desire to be there, but there's a lot of self-hate even as an athlete because everybody just wants something from you. So mentally, psychologically, you are often hurt by the fact that people are always asking you for something. Literally, every day. So how often do you want to tell a person that you like no? So first it starts off as 1,000. Then it's just 10,000. Then the person you thought that loved you really didn't love you. They just wanted something else. And before you know it, you're making bad decisions because it only takes 1 or 2 bad decisions to sign up for something that seems like you have a lot. So you can all of a sudden buy a house that's too big. You can always all of a sudden buy 2 cars when you really, and all your boys buying 3 cars. So all those things are fixed cost. And then you're trying to save, and the person that you trusted, who said he was a stockbroker, all of a sudden he's just trading your stock, but he's churning your money and you don't have it. It happens often because people don't care. They're selfish. And if you're not, when you think about it, it's easy to say the top players because the top players. But when you watched, and we were watching that documentary, and at the end, Scotty just was written a bad deal. And everybody in the entire league knew he had a bad deal. And the company didn't mind abusing him during that moment. They didn't mind. The brand, the league knew he had a bad deal. So that consciously, how do you think he felt? He's like, wow, I'm at a championship situation and nobody even wants to acknowledge my gift at that moment. Just say, by the way, we gone. Because then they'll got to say, hey, you signed this deal.
Yeah.
And to that point, he didn't realize it was a bad deal until 2-3 years later after he made the deal. All I'm saying, TR, is I can't put the education, regardless of where you're from. It is not these corporate companies' jobs to educate me on what I should be doing, right? My job going into it or before I take that first step is to make sure that I am educated, regardless if I'm coming from the hood, regardless of that, it's on me and the people that are around me. It's not a fair, it's not a fair assessment.
But Romeo, what we know is if I'm in a situation in a business and I know that you could injure yourself, I know that this could end badly. I've watched it end badly for years. You play a role. I mean, that's and many people are working to figure out how can we best protect the player. That's just a new consideration.
Players are people.
And the association's trying to figure it out. And you're young.
Business.
So the young person do something, Romeo, when he's sitting there with $1 million in the bank, he's like hearing you, but he's not hearing you. And the competition for that noise in your head.
That $1 million is a lot of money.
Muncie, let me throw this at you. The going backwards, the transition from that student athlete to college, right? And you're either going for the education or you're going for the money.
No, you're not going. See, that's my point. When you're young, oftentimes you're going for freedom. Freedom from a neighborhood where you never wanted to live. The oppressor put you in that situation. We cannot say it's just a talent. You're a commodity, bro. When you sit back and you think of the draft, just think of you're trading. You're being traded. That's like you're a commodity. You're a commodity to somebody, and you're a young person. They say, "Well, do you want to college?" And you're like, "Not really. If I could go tomorrow and just play in the NBA, I would skip college too because I'm not gonna get paid. I'm literally gonna be told what to do, Y'all gonna act like this dorm room is a lie. I'm gonna have to deal with all these other people. I really, if I had a choice, given that I am who I am, why would LeBron ever go to college? Why would he consider going? Right, but why would he consider going? What would be the point? Like at the end of the day, my dad, these jeans are right. These jeans are tight. I'm made for this, and I'm a GOAT.
Come out of college broke.
Right. It's like, so how many young brothers, and that's why the debate even now, Romeo, if you think about it, is brothers in college getting ownership of their image, ownership and being able to get paid, because the stadiums are filled, bro.
They're making so much money off
the stadiums are filled. The TV rights are filled, and our young brothers are running up and down the court. They don't make it to the NBA, but the check is at the school. And the school, I got the check. And if you compare the check, Romeo, to the 15 kids and what basketball at Duke contributed to the bottom line of the university, based on their $200,000 education, it's no money. It is no comparison to the level of money that they have contributed to the school's bottom line. So when you're asking a young brother, that's like well, are you there to be educated? I can actually come back after the game because you're making me practice every day. You're making me do this plus. It's not just being in class. Oh, I'm really interested in studying. I don't feel like practicing today. Oop, you're gone. That's not going to happen. So I'm really here as a worker. I am a worker bee. I have to work, practice, and pass the test. And it's not easy.
And not get A's at the end of the day.
So who's at fault for the education?
I don't think people are at fault.
I think it's systematic. I think when we say it,
somebody's responsible.
When we say it, I'm sure it's very much like I don't know if you saw the guy at Motel 6 said that they were canceling the Richards Group CEO. Did you see that? So literally he said something very disparaging. Now this is literally the agency for Motel 6, Home Depot, and others. Okay. At the end of the day, he was 80 years old and he was saying something. The system has worked for years to harness the power of athletes to make money for the system. And that system has no return.
They treat athletes as the cost of doing business. That's what they treat paying athletes, as the cost of doing business. They're an expense that ends up making more money from them in the end. So why would they ever want to teach us?
Well, at the end of the day, in addition to that, like you said, it's hard for someone in a system that is not preparing them even to transition, that really will not acknowledge their contribution. You know, you've got a whole contribution when you think about the impact. And it's everywhere that they're not thinking about it. Systematically, yeah, you are responsible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's why people say, well, they cut him right before he could get the pension. Or why is it, okay, I got to be in the league. How many years in the NFL before I can get a pension? So if they say 6 and then the average person lasts 3 years, is that systematic? Because my knee was blown out in the 3rd year. How do I not get a pension?
Right.
I'm on the practice team. I'm practicing, but I'm never going to get a pension. Could you imagine being on the practice team of the Patriots for the last 6 years and then never getting a pension?
But they teach the players to be so happy with what's right in front of you. You got the lights, you got the flashiness, you got all of this, but they don't teach, and even Black people in general, they don't teach us enough about what's going to be for our longevity, what's going to be for our legacy, because you're coming from situations that you've never had anything. So the idea of right now, $500 could change somebody's life, but that doesn't change somebody's life who got $5 billion, and they know that.
But my point is to what I've learned. I'm gonna throw this curveball. What I've learned personally from Munson Steve, that $500, it don't matter about the amount. It matters with what you do with the amount. And what I'm telling you is, my education of that $500 could turn me into $5 million. So what I'm saying, if it's
got
not
a whole different thing, bro. You are a young person who's listening, who grew up in a 2-family home. You got 2 parents. It ain't like did you wake up and your dad say, "I love you, Romeo." You heard that. You play that tape. That's a whole. You didn't wake up in a place where it was hood. You ain't hearing them same sirens. And I'm not gonna say it's easy, but I'm saying for a lot of the young brothers that get to the league, they have a lot of other issues.
Forces.
Everybody knows. You coming out of a city where they like, look, bro, you can't. You got to do something.
Riding on your back.
My dad used to tell me he used to move every 6 months he was moving. So he tells me all the time, like, I wish you was alive 20 years ago when I was really out there making money and having to make decisions about my life, because me as a person, seeing what he went through, I'm all about educating myself and educating my community. It's the reason why I became a real estate agent at 22 years old, because I'm all about education and I'm all about thinking for myself and making decisions that impact my future and not letting anybody tell me what to think. And, sometimes I get it wrong, sometimes I get it right. But I think that I'm grateful for his experiences that led me to be born in a better situation that I can think for myself and still not have to worry about if I make a decision about tomorrow, will I be able to eat? Because these athletes get caught up in those type of decisions. If they do not take this money right now at this moment, what else are they going to do? I asked my dad, I said, if you didn't play basketball, what would you have been? He has no clue. That was all he had. So of course he was going to take any amount of money because that was better than keeping his family in the hood.
Yeah, it's 10 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock. We need to wrap. You said 9 o'clock. It's right. It's 10 o'clock Eastern. We need to wrap. Positive thoughts. I'll kick it off. Focus on ownership. Focus on ownership. Focus on education, ownership, and making your own way. I'm passing the ball. Tiara.
My positive thought is bet on yourself. Period. Just bet on yourself. Bet on teaching yourself. Bet on believing in yourself. Bet on yourself every time. And I'm passing the ball to Munson.
Romeo. We're going to pass it to Romeo. Munson always closes out.
Romeo can close. We don't mind. I'll catch the ball. Romeo knows.
Okay.
Everybody. We not gonna get caught up on what it is. Yeah. I'll catch the ball.
Romeo trying to interject. No, Romeo said I'm not closing it out.
My positive thought today is I heard Portia, I heard Munson, I heard Tiara. My positive thought today is listen. You don't have to agree, but you can. You don't have to be with everyone, but you can listen to find a common ground. I hear what you're saying, Tiara. I take it in. I hear you. Munson, let's get out of here.
Thanks, Romeo. I would just say let's all grow in our collective thought as a community so that we all win. Let's make it where the community thought is a growing thought, a collective thought, so we can create economic principles that all of our young people understand, wealth, and really can eradicate some of the financial illiteracy that plagues our community. Positive thought, stay positive every day. This is Rolling Out AM, the Wake Up Call, Push Monique, Next Level, Romeo International, Tiara, Barry is the one. We appreciate you guys. Talk to you soon. And of course, we'll see you tonight at Seat at the Table.
Tonight and tomorrow.
And tomorrow morning. Great show, big show tomorrow morning.
We got a lot of guests tomorrow, y'all. A lot of guests.
Boy, when that spellman kick in, boy, Tiara.